guys, Edit67716 here, and welcome to this, my first Redstone tutorial. Now in this tutorial, we're going to be looking at the basics of components you can power in Redstone, and we're also going to look up how to power Redstone, and how it powers blocks set around the Redstone. So let's jump right into that. Alright, so firstly on our list of components, we have rails. Now rails can be powered, such as these two, like powered and activator rails. So a powered rail can be powered and it can send a minecart flying across the tracks. Now an activator rail is used to activate certain blocks such as minecarts with TNT, or it can disable a minecart hopper. The next thing we've got here are lamps, which can emit light. And then we've also got note blocks, which can emit sound. Now the noise a note block makes can be changed by whatever noise is under it. So this gives it a bass noise, this gives it a drum noise, this gives it a piano, this gives it a guitar, this gives it a glockenspiel, I believe, this gives it a marimba, this gives it a banjo, and this gives it a bell, and yeah, you get the idea. Alright, so the next block we have here is a gate, which can also be opened by redstone. Same is true for a trapdoor and for a door. Now, iron doors and iron trapdoors can only be opened by redstone, whereas wooden doors can also be opened by hand. Then the next component you have here is a dispenser, which it will throw out the item that's inside of it, but for very certain items it will do something special. So that flew a firework. That threw an arrow, I don't know what that did. That gave me the armor, and then this just threw the bone. But it's because it will only work with certain items. A dropper, on the other hand, will just throw out the item no matter what type it is. Well, just for fun, dispensers can also use TNT. Oh no, 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 no! Okay, I've got that set back up, and another thing you can power with redstone is TNT, which, yeah, and it will blow up. Also, you can power a piston. Now, a piston will push its block along, but it can't retract it, so it's only good to push them. But the sticky piston can also retract the block. And if I move the block like that, it will also retract it. So that's going to be all you need to know on powering the blocks. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to craft all of these items. So, for a powered rail is made by gold along the sides with a stick in the middle and redstone at the bottom. Whereas an activator rail needs a redstone torch, which is made like so. And to do that, you need sticks along the top and the bottom with iron surrounded around the sides. To make a redstone lamp, all you need is a piece of glowstone with a piece of redstone on every single side, such as this. A note block is made with redstone in the middle, completely surrounded by wood. Alright, now to make these three items, what you need for a gate, you need sticks along the side, and wooden planks of the type of gate you want it to be made of. Now, to make a trapdoor out of wood, you need to make 2 rows of wood of the type you want the trapdoor to be made at the top. Iron trapdoor is slightly different. It's in a 2x2 grid. As for doors, iron doors are made by two columns of iron like this, and wood is made similarly, but with wood like this. Now, to make a dispenser and a dropper, the recipes for both are very, very similar. For a dropper, you need redstone along the bottom, like this. But for dispenser, it's almost the exact same thing, but with a bow in the middle. Like this. TNT is made by using a crisscross of gunpowder and sand, with more gunpowder and sand, like this. So you make like a tile pattern, and that's how you make TNT. To make a piston, what you're going to need to do is put wood along the top and cobblestone along both sides like this, with a redstone down here and an iron in the middle, and that makes you a piston. Now a sticky piston, all you gotta do is add slime to the piston, like so. And that right there is how you craft all of the redstone components I've just shown you how to use. Now this next stage is on source blocks for redstone. A stone button can power a redstone signal for 1 second. As you can see by that, wood buttons can power for 1.5 seconds. They can also be powered by arrows, such as this. Levers are a bit different. They can toggle on and off. So you have to press them once you're on and then off. Wooden pressure plates can be powered for 1 second, and they can be powered by standing on them, throwing a block on them, and even by arrows, such as that. Stone pressure plates, on the other hand, can only be powered by walking on them, and they can't be powered by items or arrows. Next item is a weighted pressure plate. Now weighted pressure plates up the signal strength depending on how many individual items or mobs there are on them. They are powered for 1 second. Now a light pressure plate, which is made out of gold, goes up 1 signal strength for every single item that's on it, but it's only for individual items. So if I throw this stack of steak, it only gives it a signal strength of 1. So what I'd have to do is throw 1 of every single item on it, and you can see it's upping its signal strength. So that means it can store up to 15 items. Whereas the heavy pressure plate is different. It will only go up by 1 for every set of tin that's on there. So if I throw all these down there by 10 lots of items, it's only going to go up 1 signal strength. But once I add the 11th item, it goes up. Each strength is 1 set of 10 items. For a tripwire hook, tripwire is powered for half a second by mobs and items that can power it. So this arrow can power it along with throwing this item onto it. And if you see me run over it quickly, you can see it's only powered for half a second. Like so. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to power all the power source blocks you're going to need. Now, wood and stone buttons are very similar. It's just 1 of each block in their items. A lever, on the other hand, is just a stick with a block of cobblestone. Now, both the pressure plates are made by putting 2 blocks right next to each other, like this. So that's for wood, and stone can be made just like this. Whereas for the light and heavy weighted, you gotta use gold like this for light, and iron like this for a heavy. A tripwire hook can be built by using a stick, a piece of wood, and iron, just like this. And then if you want to use it, you gotta like place it down between a couple of blocks. Now, you need at least a 3 gap, so you have at least 1 string. However, it can go up to about 30, I believe, and then you walk over that to power it, just like so. Alright, now this is the last part we are going to be covering, and it's going to be on powering components. Now here, this little diorama is here to show you what blocks a straight redstone line will power. So redstone automatically will power the block it's on if it's a solid block, but not if it's transparent. Now transparent blocks are like glass and glowstone, and slabs don't do it either, but solid blocks such as like stone, dirt, and sandstone will transfer their strength right down to the block it's on. Now redstone will always not power components above it, but if it's heading into a block, that block will power every single side of it, so it's powering all this glowstone. Now this diorama, it shows you that components that are underneath the redstone, right underneath, get powered. And since this is powering this block, it's powering this glowstone. Whereas this signal is not pointing to this and this glowstone lamp, so they are not going to be powered at all. Whereas this block is powered, so these 2 redstone lamps are powered. Now in this next example, redstone can power 4 adjacent blocks aside the block it's on. So since it powers this block, this block is powering the redstone around it. But however, that does not work when it's below it, because it doesn't power what's above it. So it cannot power these. This torch will power this block, and then this block will be able to power all the adjacent blocks on its side, even above it. Now, this is to show you a cross versus a dot. So this lever is powering this block, which is allowing that piece of glowstone and this piece of redstone to be powered. However, if you set it to a cross, it will power every block that's adjacent to it, such as this, or, no, it doesn't go on top. Now, the next thing you got is, since it's heading right into this block, it's powering all the adjacents around it. Now, for a redstone block, it will only power the block next to it, so it's more limited than a redstone line. And a torch will only power one block sideways. Now, to build a redstone block, you need 9 redstone just like this, and there, you got a redstone block, and that's how you craft the only block I've needed to show you for the powering section. Now, these powering tutorials shouldn't just work for redstone lamps. They do, in theory, work with dispensers and droppers and most other components. However, pistons are a bit different and will have to be covered in another tutorial. Anyway, now I'm going to transfer to another world where I can show you most of these in practice. Alright, say you have this corridor and you want to set up some sort of booby trap which shoots a few firing arrows at your opponents. So what you need to do is do this and then clear some blocks. Then you can place string down here, then connect it on both ends to a tripwire hook, and then after that you can put a small redstone signal that goes to a couple of dispensers right here, and then that can be fed to some sort of fire. And then all you need to do to power this is to put them on top of these blocks, so then it will power the dispensers off to the side. And then inside the dispensers, all you need to do is put some arrows into them. And then once you have arrows into both sides, then ignite that again, and then you step here and you get arrows fired at you. And imagine your survival mode, that would really hurt. And you can see they're on fire. Alright, say you have a basic setup for a house, and you want to light it using redstone lamps instead of torches. Well, for some reason, what you need is to place a lever here, then on the back, build a redstone tower that slowly scales up your house. And then once it's up there, you should run a line off here and power like this, and this should in theory get every single redstone block. So if you come down here and flick this, there, you got complete lighting in your house. Okay, so this is going to be the end of this redstone tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, please leave a like. If you'd like to see some more from me, please subscribe. Anyway, goodbye!